Hey everyone, this is Jamie again, and I am here to talk to you today about home parties. Ugh. Anyone else want to throw up when you hear that word? I kind of always have. I've always wanted to throw up when I heard that word. So, I'm going to talk to you about home parties, but first, I'm going to talk to you about how screwed up I am, okay? So, here's my personality. I am kind of a perfectionist. But the problem is, I'm a perfectionist who isn't perfect. Okay, so like, I am one of these people that if I can't do something perfectly, I won't do it. And looking back, like I've been that way my whole life. But growing up, if I wanted to do something perfectly, I could usually find the time to go do it, and then I would pretty much just avoid the things that I wasn't perfect at. Okay, so that worked out. Well, then I became a mom, and you just can't do perfect when you're a mom. Your house can't be perfect. If it is, it's going to be messed up in like 5 seconds. Um, I will do things, I hate admitting this one because I'm a perfectionist, but I will do things like my closet is dirty and I know I need to clean it out. And if I would just take like 5 minutes a day and do it, I would probably be done in like a week and then I could just keep it clean. But because I can't find the 2 hours that I need or the hour that I need to do it, I will put it off until it's like a war zone, okay, on my side of the closet. And my husband's like, Jamie, come on, do this. And so then I do. Um, okay, but that is what I've learned is my personality holds me back from doing things that I need to do. And one of those things for me has been home parties. So when I joined Jamberry, okay, so let's go back. Direct sales. I've always hated it. I hate to say it, but I have. I was invited to a party when I was younger, and I was told, oh, come get a free makeover. And then I got there, and there were these ladies in pink suits who drove pink cars, and they made me think that I had to join. Like, it was so much pressure. And I didn't, and I walked away feeling like, almost like I shouldn't have come because I went and, like, they almost guilted me into almost joining, and I didn't, and I walked away, and I was like, I'll never go to a party again. And you know what? I never did. I never went to any kind of direct sales party again. Every time I was invited, I said no, because I felt like, they're like, oh, come get free stuff, and then you go, and it's like this big presentation, and you're guilted into joining or buying, and I don't like feeling pressure to do things. So fast forward, then Jamberry comes along, and it was just an online party. So I'm like, oh, cool. And it was one of my friends. And so then for some reason, I just was like, I'm going to do this. I could do online parties. Like, it's no pressure. It's fun. So I did it. And I did only online parties, and I refused to do home parties. And I made it work. And I made it to elite, actually, with never doing a home party. And that used to be something that I kind of prided myself on. But now I'm like, okay, something's wrong with me. And it's getting to the point where you really can't just do online parties. Like, it's kind of, I feel like it's done so much that you need to have more to your business. And in doing a lot of coaching calls, I get a lot of resistance from people about home parties. And I can't blame them because I've always been the same way. So I wanted to kind of tell you like how I've come to do home parties and kind of like what I've had to go through to get there. Okay, so I have this sister, my big sister, and her and I are like great friends, but we're total opposites, okay? So I'm the perfectionist. I grew up like the straight A student, did everything better than she did. I had my few close friends, but we were probably kind of cliquey because I just stuck to them because that's what I was good at. And then there's my sister Jody, and Jody is so fun. And she always had like 100 million friends. And she's kind of like, and always growing up, it's like she's kind of the fun sister. And I'm kind of like the goody two shoes. Okay. That was me growing up. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, dang it, I want to have fun, And what I've learned is I kind of have to lighten up if I want to have fun. So as far as a home party, I actually looked up the definition of home party. That's how neurotic I am. If I'm going to have fun, I have to learn to have fun. Isn't that terrible? Okay, I wish I was like one of those naturally fun people, but I'm not. And maybe you aren't either, so maybe this will help you. So guess what? A party is just a social gathering. So that's one thing. As a verb, like a synonym to party is to enjoy oneself. Okay. So for me, when I would think about party, home party, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. Like I have to dress a certain way. I have to have my house perfect. Or if it's at someone else's house, like I got to walk in there, have it all together. I've got to stand up there and give a big presentation. I'm not going to wear a pink suit, people. Okay. Like I can't do it. I'm never going to do it. So, and then in my life, in my personal life, I've started looking even at my friendships and I'm like, I hold myself back from even friendships. Like there are times where I won't have people over because my house isn't perfect. And that, I think that's getting a little bit, that's going a little bit overboard. And so I've been kind of working on it, okay? I'm lightening up. So what I had to realize is a party is just getting together and having fun. It's not like you don't have to send out invites months in advance. You don't have to have your house perfect. You don't have to have homemade food, a big smorgasbord ready for everybody, because that is what I would want to do if I'm going to have a party. And you know what? Since I've become a mom, all that does is keep me from ever doing anything because I don't have the time to be perfect anymore. So I've had to learn to just go for it. So a couple things I've done. I have invited, like my best friend from high school. I'm like, hey, come try the gel. Like I saw her somewhere and she mentioned the gel and that she wanted to try it. And I'm like, come try it out and just come over. And we talked for like an hour. We had a great time. And she tried the gel and she left. And I was like, oh, I hope you love it. There was never any pressure. And I even told her, like, there's no pressure here. Like, just try it. See if you like it. You can always use mine. Okay, fast forward, she ordered like $200 worth of gel because she loved it. And we had a good time together. Guess what? That was a party. Okay, two is a party. All right. So building off of that, I'm like, whoa, I know how to have fun. I'm going to keep having fun. So I keep looking. I have my maid or I have a lady that helps me clean my house just every once in a while. And she's coming today. Yay. I keep looking for her. But anyways, so pause. My computer is dying. I have to plug it in. Okay. So I decided, okay, another thing, making videos like this, I didn't do it for a long time because I'm like, I can't be perfect. What if somebody comes to my house or a kid runs in or I don't say everything right? And I had to just kind of jump in to making videos for my team and then I get people telling me like, thanks, it's helped me. So you don't have to always be perfect, okay? All right, so home party. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have a party. But for me, I need to calm down and realize that it doesn't have to be like hundreds of people and it doesn't have to be perfect. And so I've done home parties where like people do want a real direct sales traditional like home party. Like they want you to walk in there and do that traditional party. And there are people in Jamboree that are really good at that. And I've done that and it took me a while to kind of build up to being ready to do that. But Jamboree is about relationships. Life is about relationships. And a lot of times people really just want to enjoy themselves. That's what a party is. And I've had to learn that. So I invited like two friends over and they had actually been friends that had kind of looked at the gel stuff and the wraps and wanted to try it. And I'm like, oh, you should come try it. But what I realized is a lot of moms can't get a babysitter to go to a party, okay? So you have this big party and they either have to leave their family at home that night or they have to find a babysitter. And some people want to do that and they will every once in a while. But I kind of wanted like some of my mom friends to try it out. So I decided, all right, this is totally not Jamie's style, but I'm going to do this. And I invited my friends over and I was like, hey, come over on Tuesday, okay? It was less than a week. That is not Jamie's style. Like I did not have time to make this the perfect party. And I did that on purpose because I knew I needed to do this. I needed to grow. So I invited a couple people and I'm like, hey, come over and you know what? Bring your kids. They can all play. I didn't even make it. I'm not like, this is a Jamboree party. I'm like, hey, come hang out. I know you wanted to try the gel, like I'll have it there and you can do it and our kids can play. Okay, to a mom, to get to go and sit and talk with other moms and do her nails and her kids are taken care of, like you will get every mom on the block there, okay? So I invited like 2 people, and then I thought of a couple other people, and I'm like, oh, they've mentioned wanting to try it, and they have kids kind of the same age. I'll invite them. So I ended up with like 6 moms and like 20 bazillion kids, okay? They came over, and I did not cook a bunch of homemade stuff. I got a little, and I didn't let myself. I wanted to. There was a conflict going on within me. I got some fruit. I got some goldfish. I popped some of those cinnamon rolls in the oven, and I had coffee. And I told them up front, like, hey, I'll have coffee and snacks and come over. Okay, people don't expect you to make homemade stuff. Just invite them over. Just do life together. So they came over, and I just had all my Jamboree stuff out. There was no presentation. There was no suits. Okay, we were all moms. We were all wearing like yoga pants. Okay. And I actually just stood around and talked to them, and I had all the stuff on the table, and I got them coffee, and I kind of refereed all the kids that were destroying my house, and I had to let myself let that happen. And it was amazing. Like, I stood around and talked to the moms, and in between refereeing kids and getting them snacks and getting people coffee, and I had a great time, and they had a great time. Like, they were, because why? Well, their kids were watched for like 2 hours. They actually all ended up staying for lunch. And guess what? I was totally real with them, and I was like, guys, I have no mom food. All I have is like frozen peanut butter and jelly. And they were like, great, we don't even want to eat. If you're feeding our kids, we're totally cool. Like, we're all moms here, okay? So I threw the kids outside, gave them all peanut butter and jelly and fruit and juice boxes. And those moms had the best time. They talked, they laughed, their kids were taken care of and having a great time. They walked away with their nails done and asking when we could do it again. And guess what? By the time they left, it was nap time. So all morning their kids got to play. There is nothing you can do for a mom that is better than entertain their kids for a morning and let them have like some mom time. So I did that, and when they walked away, they all ended up buying gel kits and wraps. And then they knew how to put them on because I had helped them, and they had a great time. And I told them, we'll do this every once in a while. And because they're like, we want to just get together and do our nails just because this is fun. And I know that they'll probably keep buying more wraps and more gel. And it just kind of taught me, like, a party does not have to be this traditional, big, tons of people, perfect presentation, get up there and talk. Like, just get people together and do life together. We have this great product that allows you to sit and talk to other women and have a great time. And women love that. So just get them together. And I've had a lot of people like on coaching calls and things like that, or like new people, or people that have never done a home party, and they're like, I'm just scared. Like, how will I do it, and who should I get? And I don't know, what if like nobody comes, and I'm gonna try to set it on this night at this time, and we're gonna give like 2 months in advance. And I'm like, dude, no one wants that. Like, you don't want to go over. I have some people in my life that when I go over to their house, I can tell they've cleaned for like 4 hours before I got there. And it just kind of makes me feel bad. Like, they spent so much time doing this. And then I have other people who I go over to their house, and their house is clean and put together, but it's just real life. And I feel like they're people who I could just like stop by anytime and hang out with. And people don't like pretense. People like someone who's real. So just be real and have people over and have a great time, and don't feel like you have to be perfect. Because if they feel like they have to be perfect, guess what? They're not going to want your job. They're not going to want to be a Jamboree person. But if you're just yourself and you're just you, they're going to be like, oh, I could do this. Like, I could throw my own style into this. And that's why you see in Jamboree so many different people. You've got people who have tattoos all over them, and those girls get up there and rock it, and I'm like, I wish I was as cool as them, but I'm totally not. I'm like type A, and there's people like me who can go in and do it too. And we have all different personalities in Jamboree, and you don't have to be one thing. So my challenge to you is, when you think of party, don't even mention that to people. Just be like, hey, come try Jamboree. Like, we'll get our kids together, and you can try that stuff out and do your nails. And if you even go so far as to be like, it's no pressure, it's just like, come try it and we can have a great time. Or even just invite them over for a play date and call it that. Don't scare people off by making them feel like they're going to be pressured into doing something. And don't scare yourself off by making yourself feel like it has to be this big rehearsed thing. There is a place for parties where you do have the party cards, and that's like such a great tool. And there are people who want to do a big party like that where they invite people way in advance. But there's also plenty of people in the world that just are like, let's do life together, let's get together, let's have a good time. 2 people is a party. Just remember that. 2 or more people is a party. And you're probably going to end up, if you spend the time with people, relationships, I feel like, are about time and intention and having things in common. And I think those 3 things kind of in combination, some of my best friendships have developed with people that I didn't have a lot of intention at the beginning, but it ended up being a lot of time. Like we're sitting there watching our kids play a sport, and we end up just being best friends because we have all that time spent together. And then there's intention, when like you intentionally spend a lot of time with somebody to get to know them. And then, things in common. If your kids are the same age or they're in things together, like develop those relationships. We have a great product, but relationships is what's going to kind of keep your business moving forward. So I hope that makes sense. It was just some things that I've learned lately. Lighten up, have some fun. I'm trying to learn it too. So hope that helps. Have a great day.